Hey guys, and welcome to the Captain Fizz show. Captain Fizz?
Captain Fizz and Mask Guy show.
Wow, you know what? All I have to say to that is, Hail Hydra!
Hydra has taken over the show. So enjoy our opening music. We'll be back to, of course, talk about Hydra, along with tons more. Enjoy this funky music, and don't forget, Brainwash is coming. Hey guys, welcome back to the Captain Fizz and Mask Guy show. I, of course, am Captain Fizz.
And greetings once again from the 7th Moon of Thunder. I am that Mask Guy.
And you know, this is the first time that I've actually had to rush in between the music breaks. I am drinking cold coffee because I didn't have enough time or energy to put it into the nuker. So, yeah. Cold coffee it is.
Cold coffee. And Hail Hydra.
And Hail Hydra. So yes, we got some great news and some great debate. I think, definitely going to happen tonight on our show. So, sit back and enjoy because it's going to get very heated in here.
I don't know if it's going to get heated or not.
I think it definitely will. Like, it is one of our more controversial shows. And not for, profanity or, things like that. It's about the topic.
No, I don't think you and I are going to argue too much about this. Now, if we had some other people on the show, maybe it would get a little heated.
Oh, I think, definitely if you add more people to this show, especially tonight, it will get definitely very heated. I've had a lot of, groups where I've been talking to people about what our subject tonight is going to be. And definitely it's all on one side of the specter. So we're going to come right out of the bag and basically say we are talking about Captain America Marvel revealing that Captain America revealed that he has been secretly a spy for Hydra all this time.
Exactly. It was in the new series that just came out, Captain America Steve Rogers, I believe the name of the series is. In issue 1, what we find out is they have two storylines going on. One, during the time when Steve was very young, and one during the mission to try to track down the Red Skull, and Hydra. Now, before we go in there, for those people like myself who weren't aware, because I had to go off and do some research before the show, heaven forbid that I should have to do that.
I definitely recommend research. As much as I'm not a big Captain America fan, I will actually fully admit this, that the storyline over the years and the decades for Captain America is phenomenal. I definitely recommend reading them. Just don't read them all at once because you will want to shoot your comic book in the head.
But anyways, for those people who aren't aware, over the last several years, Steve Rogers has been an old man with no superpowers. And while this has happened, Sam Wilson, better known as the Falcon, has taken over the Captain America mantle. So what they did at the beginning of this was to give Steve Rogers another boost of the super serum or whatever, so it would make him a hero again, or so we thought. So what we see at the end of this storyline here was that Steve Rogers goes off and throws a C-list superhero known as Jack Flag out of a plane, revealing that he is in fact a member of Hydra and has been a member all along. And then we see how it all begins. His mother was saved from an abusive relationship by a member of Hydra, and she and her son kind of just get sucked into the Hydra world. And Steve has been playing the long game, as one website put it when I went off to do research. So, I mean, he's been pretending to be the most patriotic superhero of all time for the better part of 75 years, and now it's being revealed that, in fact, he is, really one of the biggest villains of all time.
Yeah, and, and a lot of people are definitely angry at this. They feel that it's definitely betrayal, of course, to the Captain America name. But I actually feel this is the best possible way to, bring in new readers for the comic books, and especially with Captain America being in the movies, as much as he is right now. Comic book, reading and comic book sales are obviously probably very down.
Comic books are very expensive, so it's not likely that we're going to see a big increase in the number of sales in comics. But you know what? This really does. It goes up and it gets people talking. I mean, the editor for Marvel Comics recently did an interview with Time Magazine. And, it's on the front cover of not just Time, but also on the front cover of Entertainment Weekly. So, I mean, it's being talked about, seriously here.
Yeah,
so, if nothing else, it's kind of getting, Marvel some great publicity. Even if, a lot of people are really angry about it.
And, and I do understand everybody's opinion, reason why they're angry. Like, I've definitely, as someone who has, a lot of geek friends other than just, what is in the studio right now. And, even more than what we've had on our show in previous episodes over the last year. Yes, we've been around for about a year now. Holy crap.
As of June 5th, so our next week's episode
will be officially 1 year.
Will be our official first year, episode.
Yeah, so, that'll be great, but, all these people have given me opinions, giving me, what they feel, how they feel, betrayed, and their opinion on this new storyline. It's amazing, and this is young, old alike, male, female. There is no basis, or gender, or whatever you want to call it, discrimination on any of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everyone seems to have an opinion of this. I remember when I first saw, there is from the comic where it shows Steve Rogers standing over someone, tied up and gagged and saying "Hail Hydra." I actually thought it was a doctored image from something originally, because I mean, it's like, okay, this. And I thought, this is pretty cool, ha ha ha. And then I went off and started seeing all this stuff, and I realized, oh my god, this is a real thing.
Yeah, basically, as you were explaining earlier, Steve Rogers was his real age, so, definitely an old man. He passed the Captain America legacy to Falcon, so it wasn't just Falcon took it over. Steve Rogers actually passed it.
He passed
to
it
him.
on, and they've actually they've used that in not just the comics, but it's also bled through into some of the games as well that you see these days.
And then Captain got his power back, announced he was Hydra. And then, Carol Danvers dies. Spoiler. And then, died or stepped down. I haven't fully been informed what... I'm reading basically fans' messages at this point.
You got your friends from your little game. I'm sorry if I refer to you guys as a little game, but,
and then Khan got her powers and took over. So, it's not just Captain America claiming, he's Hydra and all this. It has gone so much further.
Well, from what I understand, it appears that the only people who are aware that he's a member of Hydra, other than the Hydra itself, is us, the fans, and Steve Rogers. Apparently, this is not something that's actually been revealed to almost anyone else.
Yeah, and there's no secret. Like, over the last few years, Marvel has definitely changed things a lot to the point that you don't know what's real or anymore, or what to believe. Thor is female now.
Well, that's what they kind of went off and they did this War of the Worlds thing where everyone died, and then we now have there's two Spider-Mans, there's an Asian Hulk. Now,
and then they're also basically they've used the whole multiple universe with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So Miles Morales and Peter Parker now exist in the same timeline.
Yeah, exactly.
And you got Peter Parker actually training Miles Morales, which I'm all for having an African Spider-Man, that different timeline. But I don't like them being in the same comic book.
I think that though works because I think the hope there is that eventually Miles is going to kind of get the rub, so to speak, off of Peter Parker, and eventually it will be more accepted by mainstream. We are aware that Sony will not permit Peter Parker to be anything more than a straight Caucasian man.
See, and I agree. And that's because Peter Parker has always been that, and that's why they have created, the Miles Morales, character. I'm all for that character. I actually think it's very unique. I definitely have read some of the comic books. I like the storyline. But if you're going to combine, the two of them together in some form or fashion, I think there should have been a lot longer wait before they do the whole, I'm from this universe, you're from this universe, and
who
clash
knows?
together, right?
This is nothing really new though. That's nothing new for Spider-Man. We're definitely going down the rabbit hole here.
At the same point, though, it's the whole thing. Like you got Captain America claiming he's Hydra. You have a storyline where Peter Parker loses his power and Miles Morales becomes the new Spider-Man in that universe.
And then there's another story arc where you see a bunch of different Spider-Mans from multi-universes all coming together, including Spider-Gwen and Spider-Ham, which I remember from the 1980s. Thank you very much.
And Thor, of course, being female. And all
Wolverine's daughter becoming the new Wolverine.
Yeah, and all these different storylines. Over the years, we've all gotten used to change, except for the last little while, right? Because it's basically been very consistent. You've always had the same Wolverine, the same type of professor.
And that's sort of why I think they've done a big shakeup with these whole storylines that they've been going along with. Now, there's a lot of people. They are just online and they're just referring to this whole thing with Captain America as being just a gimmick, and that this will last a little while and then it'll be gone. But, so who knows? Eventually we might find out he's not a double agent. Maybe he's a triple agent.
I disagree with that theory, right? The fact that Marvel has come out and publicly said that this is Steve Rogers, that is not a clone, not a doppelganger, anything like that.
They've come straight out and they've said this is not a gimmick.
But at the same point, by doing that, it makes you question, why is Marvel saying this?
And this is something that Nick Spencer went off, and when he took over Sam Wilson, Captain America, back at the end of 2014, this is something that he set in motion back then with Steve Rogers.
But why would they publicly turn around and say this is not a gimmick, this is not a clone, this is not a doppelganger, this is actually Steve Rogers? To me, that just seems more or less that they're actually covering it up.
I think the real plan is that this is not something that is going to get brushed under the rug in a couple of episodes. This is probably something that they are going
to Remember, comic books are issues, TV are episodes.
Okay, fine. I apologize. This is something that I think we're going to see for issues for the next couple of years. I'm really hoping that they don't rush into revealing to to everyone that he's in fact a Hydra agent for a long time. I would love to see them not even reveal this until maybe 2017.
See, and my fan base is currently screaming at me. According to Darth Balls, who has been on our show previously, will actually appear on our show again at a previous time. Or at a future time.
A future time, not a previous time, you fool!
He has said that they ruined Captain America. Now, I don't disagree. But at the same point, I don't agree with that theory either. I think Captain America has gotten to a very complacent, very boring spot, and they needed that boost, the firecracker in the ass, so to speak.
Well, The Captain America character has been around for 75 freaking years.
Yeah, and
you gotta start doing some stuff with them.
The only other thing that you can do to make Captain America any more